All right.
And we are live. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, welcome to our spotlight. People are going to start coming in. Hello, if you're watching us on YouTube now or the replay. Thanks for watching on Facebook or on our website or any of these other places. Definitely, if you're watching the replay, give us a hashtag replay in the comments. Today, we have our special guest, Miss Durecia Moorer. Am I pronouncing your last name?
Durecia Moorer, yep.
More perfect. Yeah, we have some hearts and some people watching. Drop your comments below. Tell us hi. Let us know that you're here. We have a special guest and fellow bison.
Yes, you in the building.
No, right? So if you are, then drop it in the comments because you know how we do, right? Awesome. And Durecia is here to talk to us about marketing and event planning. She has a company that specializes in that and just about her journey as an entrepreneur. Her company is ABCD and Company. So really cool, really, really innovative and really catchy. So we love the name. Hi guys. Hi everyone that's out there watching. We're excited to have you. Durecia, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Michelle. I'm really excited. It's a great day. It's a great week for the bison. So it's always good to come together and share. So I'm excited.
Yay. So tell us a little bit about your business and just a little bit about your business. Let's start there.
Okay, well, as Michelle mentioned, my company is ABCD and Company, and the ABCD actually stands for Amber, Brittany, Corey, and Durecia. So we all graduated from Howard University and started our business when we were 24, and then we've been in business now for 8 years. So marketing events is our realm of expertise, but really helping our clients better connect and communicate to their stakeholders. So that's pretty much the simple way to think of it. So we can come in on strategy and then we can come in on execution, but the goal is to better transform how they connect and communicate.
Awesome. So who are your clients?
Wow, that's a really loaded question. These days, let me tell you, COVID, man, it had every business, I'm sure, pivoting. So industry segments that we never thought we would be able to work with, we now do. And so some of our clients are in the financial services space, healthcare and pharmaceutical, associations, nonprofits. We're across the board. When you think about marketing events, everyone needs it in some kind of way. So it's definitely something that we have been able to leverage for a lot of different organizations. And some of them are pretty high level corporate. So we don't usually share exact names, but we do have clients. Right. I mean, it's an honor. Because honestly speaking, in this area, we're considered a baby firm. So to be able to work with some of the most prominent organizations out there is really a blessing, to be honest with you. And so, yeah, ABCD is staying alive. We didn't have to lay off any employees, even in the midst of all this. We were able to shift to virtual events, and we're doing everything from branding, creative and digital, comms and engagement. One opportunity I will share is we were able to partner with Association for Enterprise Opportunity and PayPal to launch the Black-owned business grant. So I don't know if anyone's on and is a recipient of the PayPal Empowerment Grant for Black-owned businesses, but woo-woo, we were the messaging and the social strategy around that. So that was a really big deal to be able to just hear so many people's stories about how they've been impacted by COVID and everything that's going on. So, yeah.
Awesome. And you guys did an amazing job because the promo and the messaging for that grant was everywhere.
Okay, good. We'll see. That's what it's about. Partners as well. So, yeah, that's good. That's good.
Awesome. And you touched on something that I think is really, really awesome, right? You talked about, one, how your clients had to pivot during COVID-19, and then also how your business was affected or impacted in a great way, right? And how you guys were able to grow. So can you touch a little bit on how COVID impacted your business deeply and what you guys put in place in order to grow during such a troubling time?
Yes. So it's funny, myself and Brittany, we were in Boston in March, and the governor had issued a state of emergency. Um,
Mm.
we were in the midst of hosting a conference with our client. And so we were like, oh my God, like this is like a real situation. Like you heard about it in different states announcing a state of emergency, but to be there, to have people's family members, under your
Wow.
care and trying to make sure that we get everything situated as smoothly as possible was kind of the big hit for us in terms of like,
Mm.
got to think about this a little differently. So when we got back to the DMV area, we were like, okay, what are we going to do? Our bread and butter is live events, right? Like, and so many vendors and partners that were impacted by this. And so
Mm.
okay, what are we going to do? So, of course, we applied to every grant opportunity. A lot of corporations at the time were launching initiatives to support businesses. And we were fortunate to receive the Maryland Layoff Aversion Grant. So this really
Nice.
helped us, yes, in terms of capital and being able to pivot. So in addition to all of the things that we had already been doing when it comes to marketing events, we now have this production capability. So we have 4K cameras, lavalier mics, full broadcast studio. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
But that really gave us the ability to enhance our clients' experiences because everyone had live events planned and had to pivot to virtual. So that is really the linchpin for how ABCD shifted, and it ended up being such a blessing. We just recently did a soft launch of theme boxes. So I know you've probably gotten at least one or two in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
People who are sending things and trying to bring that engagement piece along with events. So we've launched a full service line and doing that as well. So made it work, and it's actually enhancing our capabilities. So I definitely would share to not be afraid to do things differently. I know
Mm.
uncomfortable, and I have several peers and colleagues who have had to do things that were not normally within their service line or their wheelhouse, but it ended up enhancing the experience for the client. So it's a win-win situation for sure.
Awesome. That sounds amazing, especially that you guys were able to pivot and grow, right? I think that's like the
Grow,
key to.
okay, like yes, skyrocket.
Yes. And what words of advice? Because a big part of what we do in these spotlights is talk to the entrepreneurs at every level, right? So how would you, or what words of wisdom would you give to those entrepreneurs who weren't able to pivot and grow? Where do they go from here?
Wow. Yeah, that's a very real situation for a lot of business owners. And so I would say don't be afraid to partner. I think sometimes
Mm.
small business owners, we're small minded and we think that there is not enough business for everyone. And so I would say the most important thing you have to do right now is assess what are your skill sets, where do you add value, and then come together with other business owners and partner. You never know what other individuals looking for that particular gift or talent and can't find it. So I definitely would say partnership is a plus. We partner with Roland S. Martin to not only produce virtual events, but live stream them through his platform. So when you talk about engaging the Black audience, Roland Martin is definitely at the top of the list. And so that was another benefit that we were able to offer our clients who had a message for the Black community, who wanted to engage the Black community. So I would definitely say think differently about partnership and not look at people who are in similar service lines as you as competition, but more as strategic partners.
Love it. So, guys, pick up some strategic partners. Don't be afraid to ask for help or even remember where you bring value, right? Think of how you can bring value to someone else and then build a partnership.
Yeah.
I love it.
You can't be afraid and intimidated by what people have. For ABCD, we're confident that we transform. We're a magical place, okay? And we claim that 100% with our clients. They're always wowed by our work. And it's the way in which we do it. But that doesn't mean that the 10 other marketing firms that are in the area don't do the same thing. They just do it in a different way. And so it really boils down to your client experience and what they're looking to achieve. values. There are some clients that are not for ABCD, and we become very confident and comfortable with that. And I think it makes the difference in terms of how you focus your pivot, focus your efforts, focus your partnership. You have to have a sense of who you are, what your brand identity is, and then being able to use that to build relationships that matter.
I love it. And I want to pivot into another space, right? So, and we're talking about, you kind of really gave us a segue into it by talking about partnerships.
Yeah.
So I love one of the things that you said, ABCD and company started between you and 3 other bison. At the age of 24, you all were able to start and grow a really successful agency. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey into entrepreneurship, individually and as a team?
Yes. So my uncles, all of them were entrepreneurs. So I was exposed to entrepreneurship, but I was exposed to it by my uncle. So it's really funny how, like, you know, I've came along in the family and kind of been the pioneer for the women in the family. And so that's kind of my individual journey, and really seeing them being able to employ people to give back to their community, that meant a lot to me. And then when it comes to just how myself and Brittany, Corey, and Amber came together, it's funny, they all have an entrepreneur, at least one in their family. So it's definitely a legacy that we're carrying. And that's something that's important to us, is like, it's great to make money, but where's your impact, and what will people have to say about you once you're gone? So that's something that's pivotal and at top of mind for sure. But yeah, we came together and we were working in West Baltimore at our local church. And that was kind of the beta testing, if you will, for seeing how we work together.
Love it. Start with the church.
Yes, so small ministry is some of the best places, let me tell you, to nurture your gifts, because a lot of times there is so much to be done. And we were able to just get in, dig deep, and see how we work together. And so we were like, man, we work really well together. I wonder what would happen if we put a price tag on this.
Hey, got the shmoney.
So that's what we did. So we initially started off in management consulting, but everyone kept saying, everything that you're doing is marketing events. But I think we were just nervous about in the area. And we thought, oh, if we say that, that's a little bit easier. But it actually caused for confusion, because people were like, what do you do?
What do you do?
And I'm telling you, the most important thing is to drill down. What do you do? And Roland tried to tell us, he was one of our mentors, and he tried to tell us, you guys, you gotta listen to your mentors. Hello, listen to your mentors. Wisdom is everywhere. Use it so that you don't have to waste time or money. But yeah, we look seriously. So we came together and we started off at management consulting, but we saw really what we were doing was this whole concept of stakeholder engagement. So it's not just caring about your external stakeholders, who could be your customers or your clients, or your partners, but it's your internal stakeholders as well. How does your employees feel about the company that they work for? So it's really that holistic ecosystem, and being able to find marketing and event strategies that appeal to all of your audiences, because that is how you really build brand equity. It's able to have people who champion your cause, your brand, love you, word of mouth. We know that's the best way of marketing. So that's kind of the evolution of how we went from an idea to 8 years now.
Love it. And of course, I love, you guys all being bison. We're going to pause for 1 second to take a question. We have Miss Marcia Wright. She says, do you help with brand launching?
So we work primarily B2B, but we definitely can have a conversation about what you need. I appreciate and I applaud you for looking for expertise, because you got to be able to put the best and the brightest in the room when it comes to your brand and your baby. So I definitely would love to talk more and see how we might be able to help you.
How does she reach you?
Okay, so she can reach me at Moorer, MOORER, at ABCD&company, all spelled out.com.
Awesome. We're just going to write, because we'll forget to come back to that.
I know. You can put my contact information in the comments, then we can go that route too.
Absolutely. Jamila is on it.
Yes.
So let's see so one of the things you said that was really cool. You said, listen to your mentors. Wisdom is everywhere. So guys, that's a nugget. Make sure you take that one home, write it down. One of the other things people really love to hear, and it's so weird, but people really want to hear about how we overcame, like everyone loves a hero story, right? So like, what are some of the challenges or that one challenge, hashtag or failure that you guys were able to overcome?
Man, there's so many. There's so many growing pains. As you evolve, there will be challenges. More money, more problems, okay?
As you evolve, I love that. As you evolve, there will be more challenges. That's a tweetable, guys. That's a tweetable.
So I would say one of the things with my role, so I'm Chief Marketing Officer. So when you talk about brand awareness and really champion the ABCD name, that's my wheelhouse. And I think one of the things that I made the mistake of doing is not allowing us to be new. And let me explain that. We tried to be the big company too early. There is nothing wrong with promoting your services on social media. There is nothing wrong with reaching out to people and engaging them. And we didn't want to be a nuance or, just, it was like, okay, you know what, we got to do this a little more sophisticated. So we were trying to be the big agencies who you don't see Edelman and Ogilvy market their
right.
at a certain level. And we were like, that's who we are. And it's like, no, like that's who you aspire to be, but that's not who you are. So be comfortable with being new on the block. Be comfortable with more direct marketing strategies. You will probably find that people would be surprised to get a phone call. So I don't think cold calls are dead, depending on how you do it. I think for us, it was like, dang, we missed the window, because it did get to a point where it was like, that's probably not the best way when you're working with, larger organizations like this. You can't, there's a certain way and finesse in which you communicate, and build your brand. And so I definitely would say be okay with being the baby. Try new things. A lot of product-based businesses, they have to market on social, right? They have to show their products and what have you. But for the service businesses, which is so hard for us, because how do you sell something that sometimes feels intangible? You can't see it. You can try a bottle, see, a candle, but how do you conceptualize and bring value to something that people might take for granted? So really building thought leadership and thought expertise, sharing tips and tools for your potential customers are crucial. So yeah, my heart goes out to the service-based businesses, because it's hard for us. Market in a way where it doesn't feel cheesy, where it feels like you're being helpful, but still making money, because that's what this is about.
Absolutely. What did cold calling look like for you guys?
I'm sorry, say it again.
I know, I think I went a little wonky. What did cold calling look like for you guys for a service-based business?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of ways in which you can do this, but I think you do still have to do your research, right? So you can't just call like, hey, do you need accounting? Like, no, I don't. Right. Thanks very much. But if, hey, we're coming up on tax season, I wanted to know if you would be okay with me sending you a checklist of all the things you need to make sure you have in preparation for your taxes. It would be awesome for me to send you a quick email, and then maybe we can have a discussion and answer any questions. That's different, right? That's a different approach. So again, it's being helpful, being intentional, being authentic, and then bringing that to, a telephone conversation, which we're in COVID, so that's a little weird, right? Like people are like on their office phones. Most times they're working from mobile, and they're definitely not trying to talk to people. Right. As we hopefully transition sooner than later back to some sense of normalcy. I don't think it's a strategy that necessarily just kind of goes out the window.
Awesome. And you know what, as we go back, or like you said, transition back to normalcy. So this is my theory, right? My theory is that, so I've been in this virtual space for so long, right? I've been doing Zooms and lives and all of that. And then all of a sudden the world had to, right? And so it was great. My best friend called. She's like, "Girl, this is your time. Like you've been doing this forever, right?"
Good.
And what I see though, now I see like, so my Clifton strengths, my number one is futuristic, right? So I have like that ability to kind of like, I live in the future.
Okay.
Yeah. And so what I see, and it could be totally wrong, but my foreshadowing is I think that people are going to the live event space is about to go crazy because people have been cooped up and they're ready to get back out into the world. Like, what are some tips that you can give businesses, small, medium, and large, on how to take advantage of this opportunity before we miss out?
Right. Yeah. And that's a really kind of large focus area, right? Like live events. What kind of live events? Because the first thing we say is it a concert? Is it a gala? Is it an activation? Is it a conference? There's so many categories of live events. But I would say really thinking about how you add value to that environment and who do you add value to. So are you the person who adds value on the attendee side where you can offer promo and swag, or are you good with marketing and can create campaigns for people to register? Are you the accountant who can help manage the budget and for that particular event? So I think it's looking at live events and figuring out where in that puzzle you fit and how you add value. Just like anything else, but I think that is definitely, I definitely think you're right. People are itching to get back out. And I think the vaccination helps people feel a little bit better about engaging. And it depends. I really think there's going to be more of a hybrid situation where there's going to be a live event, but some type of live streaming attached to it so that those people who don't feel as comfortable can still engage in a meaningful way.
Absolutely. I mean, from like funerals, like we have one coming up and it'll be a hybrid. A family reunion that we're having even a year from now, which will be a hybrid, and you took it to, see, this is what I'm talking about. These brains, right? These bison brains. You took this to a whole different place. So I was thinking about, as a business owner, throwing events for either your clients or or to monetize, right? But I love where you took it because you basically said, you can be a service provider to people hosting these events. I think that is an even better strategy on how to monetize this upcoming live event / hybrid space we're going to be in.
Right. I mean, even for you with events, I think, people are not always going to want the large venues. So if you're thinking about a wedding and renting out a really large home, that might be an option as well. So I think it's just looking at things based on your added value and how you can bring something unique to the table.
Awesome. Marsha said that she sent you an email. Thanks.
And
I'm going to give a shout out.
She's on it. She's not playing, okay? I love
winners.
I love it.
We're going to give a shout out. So we have Andrew watching. And so Andrew says he's open to partnering. He's a social media marketing, lead engagement, conversion, as well as real estate photography and videography in the DMV.
Okay, so a lot of digital. Let's talk.
Andrew, hit her up. So once again, here's her contact information. Hit her up. Your information is going to be out there. So,
Okay, yes.
Don't come after me when everyone starts hitting up your inbox.
Right. Like, oh my God, Michelle, what am I gonna do?
Yes, awesome. Again, we appreciate this so much. So for our either budding or scaling entrepreneurs, if there was one tip and those are probably two different conversations too, though, really. But what tips or words of wisdom would you give them?
For the budding entrepreneur, right? I would say leap. Just do it.
Yes.
Just do it. It's nothing like being able to have something that's your own. God bless a child that has his own, that old school saying. Let me tell you, it's nothing like waking up every day knowing that people depend on you. And I know it's a lot of pressure, but it's being able to say, like, this is mine. This is my idea. This is my concept. This is my vision. And I'm bringing it to life. I think that is the best advice that I can give you. It's going to be scary. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to be disappointed. Everyone is not going to support you. I promise you. They may say they are, but when the rubber meets the road, you might not get that support, but you have to keep on pushing. So resilience is key in entrepreneurship.
Love that. And you know what I've learned? That support comes in different ways,
Mhm.
right? And so one of the things I tell my mentees in the real estate space, I say, so when you first start, everyone says, reach out to your sphere, right? Call your family, call your
Mhm.
friends, you know,
Right.
right? And they'll become your biggest customers. I always tell them, build a business first and your family and friends will come. You know, don't use your sphere to build, don't use your, and so I always tell them, you know, reach out to your sphere when you're just getting started, not to ask them for business, but potentially ask for referrals and
Yeah.
just to kind of let them know what you do, you know? So
Incentivize the referral. So don't
exactly.
ask someone to give business and not be able to give them something because I mean, one ask begats another ask. And so you have to be careful about how many asks, you're going to have.
Mm,
People are going to expect you to reciprocate. And you do those things naturally anyway when you have strong relationships, but it's important to be more strategic about how you do it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what about the scaling entrepreneur? So I've got a little change. I got a couple of customers, but I'm growing.
Yes. So you're growing, which means you need capacity. So you need to reach out to ABCD.
Yeah, leverage. Love it.
But seriously, when you're in a growth phase, you can't do everything anymore. I love the CEO everything concept. I think it's amazing because no one should know your business better than you do. But I think also, in order for you not to stagnate your growth, in order for you to not damage the growth, you got to kind of put some more people in place to be able to help you get to where you need to be.
Love that. Leverage people. So build a team around you as you scale.
Build a team. And when you start the business, of course, you got to have your hands in a little bit of everything. You're in accounting, you're in finance, you're in payroll, you're in marketing, content, everything. But once you start to build momentum and you have growth, you can now choose where your best and highest use is.
Mm,
And wherever you know that this is not really naturally your skill set, you need to assess and figure out how to bring in the right people.
love it. What's your next hire on your team?
Next hire. So we're actually looking for a couple people. So please send resumes. We're looking for what we call an integrated graphic designer. So this person not only has graphic design skill, but also motion graphics and animated.
Ooh,
And then we're also looking for someone on the creative content writing side. So
love it. I know a few motion graphics, animation people from my former retired life.
well, send the resumes. I mean, I'll even take event planners at some point. I'm sure I'll kind of come down on the hours working on events. I love them. I love everything about them. But I will definitely start taking resumes now for event and meeting planners too.
Yes, because you are scaling. You are growing and scaling.
I'm trying to practice what I preach, guys. It's hard.
Awesome. And so, so right now we are leveraging a legacy, right? So we're all about, building a legacy through real estate and entrepreneurship. And when we first started this conversation, you dropped the bomb, right? You dropped the keyword legacy. And
Mhm.
I want to know, what is your legacy? What does it look like today? And what does it look like tomorrow?
So my legacy right now, I would say, is definitely a person who is very passionate about what it
Mhm.
is that I do. I try to make an indelible mark on every person that I meet. So I'm really grateful to have strong relationships. People can depend on me. And so that feels good to know that I am top of mind when it comes to like, who's your road dog? Who's going to stand in your corner? Who's going to champion? I like
Mm.
Michelle Obama picture. You know how she was like, "You got this girl." That's me. You got this girl.
Wow.
How I try to live and build that legacy. I would say, man, future is really bright. I have a lot of ideas about how I want to give back to the youth. That is definitely an area of passion for me, very close to me. And so when you talk about how we expose our babies to entrepreneurship and getting them started much earlier, that is definitely a place in time where I want to leave legacy too.
Love that. She's supporting the kids. Awesome. So outside of your email address, which we have now sent out to the whole internet, how do people find you?
Yeah, I'm on all platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and you can literally just put in my name, which is on the screen, and I am accessible. Send me a DM, ask me a question. I am here to pour out everything that I've learned. Hopefully, you guys don't make the same mistakes that we did.
Yeah, and if you do, just continue to grow, just like Team ABCD and
Yeah,
Company did.
yeah, you'll
Yeah,
and you'll hurt, but you'll get through it.
absolutely. Maybe we can have at some point have you guys all come back and hang out with us.
I know that would be funny.
Yeah,
You see my face.
I read between the
You
lines.
don't wanna do that. It's so funny. We're so close, but so different.
That's like a marriage.
We're like the best of friends, but let me tell you, honey, it gets real up in here.
Oh, that's, I can only imagine. That's good. That's family.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. How do you work with your best friends? Easy. It's not about us. ABCD
Ooh,
is its own entity.
ooh,
So
ooh. If
yeah.
you guys didn't catch that, hope you caught it. Watch the replay. Catch that. Right? It's not about us. It's
Yeah.
about the baby.
All those clients who are sitting here waiting for their
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Thank you so much, Durecia, for joining us today, for hanging out with me.
thank you for
I'm so
having me.
excited. This was awesome. Guys, if you have any questions, please look her up. Check out ABCD and Company. I mean, you guys got a lot of resources here. Outside of the nuggets she dropped, they are hiring, right? She's given a lot of tips and tricks and just shared her journey and her squad's journey through entrepreneurship, and also talked about the event space and really gave another nugget of how you can tap into this event space, which is really blowing up, to help scale and grow your business, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, unless you have any questions, we are signing out today. Thank you again, Durecia, and we will see you soon. Bye.